Your take on shark nets, for or against?
Look, shark nets are not perfect, but they give some level of safety. And I think it goes down to the Greens again. The Greens almost seem to be anti-human at this point, and they rather use symbols to promote how beautiful and awesome they are rather than the actual safety of human lives. And it just feeds more and more into their ideology, and it just grows and grows. And it's quite frightening to the point where we're now seeing more incidents. This summer has been, this whole season has been terrible for shark attacks.
So true. Well, Camilla, the Firefighters Union down in Victoria wants more diverse firefighters, and so they're asking for extra funding to close the gender gap in firefighting. My question is, why the heck does it matter what the gender of a firefighter is?
I must say, so say I'm, God forbid, in a burning fire. My house is burning down. The last thing that I would be looking for is, oh, is that firefighter a woman? Oh, is it a man? I couldn't care less. And the fact that we're investing more money for women to go in industries that they don't maybe necessarily want to go into. I'm sick and tired, and I think everyone's sick and tired of this woke identity politics. That was so 2020. Why the hell are we introducing this woke, trying to get women into areas they don't really want to be into?
So true. And George, we saw in California, for example, what happens when you prioritise DEI and identity over merit and competence. Ultimately, they ended up with terrible bushfires. The fire department was completely incapable of handling the situation. In a country like Australia, where we do have very bad bushfires, what does this say about the state of our country when unions are more concerned about the gender of firefighters than actually fighting fires?
Yes, you're completely right, Dave. Look, DEI is one of the greatest threats to Australia. And, firefighting requires strength. It requires stamina. It requires judgment. And I'm sure there's plenty of females out there who are brave enough to do this job. But at the end of the day, that shouldn't be the main message. The message should be competence. And firefighting is one of the toughest jobs in the world. It requires the highest level of competence. And you're right, the LA is an example. It's fantastic because they didn't have water in their hoses. That's how incompetent it was. And that led to deaths, houses being burnt down, and the complete shift of LA forever. So symbolism over substance again, it's just deadly, and it's going to end more lives. So this needs to stop immediately.
George, I want to get your thoughts on this. You sort of touched on the rise of the woke right earlier. Now, the NSN, the neo-Nazis, are running training days in suburban Sydney. But according to the police, recruitment isn't going crazy. They're still struggling, still trying to get more people. But to me, these guys just look utterly pathetic. Even at the August 31st rallies, when they got onto the microphone in many cities, lots of people left or booed at that moment. How do we instill positive patriotism in young people and reclaim patriotism so it doesn't get hijacked by these nutters?
Look, the woke right, I like to call them, their leader is a pagan. And I've looked deeply into his speeches and talks online, and it's quite clear that he follows pagan ways. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these people who are being recruited are young men. A lot of them are probably incels who've never really had any job prospects. And, depression for men is quite high. So it feels like these poor men are being kind of taken advantage of by this cult-like woke right. And I've tried my hardest to reach out to these people because at the end of the day, these are humans who are suffering. But they do require a level of communication. That's the difference between the left and the right. The right will always communicate with their far right to try and bring them back to the center. The left hold no accountability over their woke left. They just let them do whatever they want. They let them fester. And this is what adds even more fuel to the fire because it adds to the frustration of this woke right we're seeing. So, yes, I think at the end of the day, the media, the Labor government are loving this because they get exactly what they want. More excuses to push digital ID, more excuses to put up censorship through social media. And, yeah, it's not a good situation we're in right now.
So true. Well, thank you so much for joining me, guys.